Jared Rhodes with Community.
All right, so I'm here to talk to you about why you should be involved with your technology community. So what we're going to talk about is first why speaking, and then how speaking, and then finally we're going to talk about organizing within your community. So first, let's talk about why speaking. You want a career, that's probably why you're here, and money and interesting work can be a part of that career, and being involved in the community can help that career. You also want to build a brand around yourself in that career. So one thing would be word association. There's a few speakers here that when you see them, you think of the technology or the domain that you know them for. You would also like it that whenever you submit your resume and it goes to somebody in HR, they can just Google you and you come up whenever they want to find out what you do, and then what comes up matches what you submitted to them. And then finally, when that happens, when they search for you and it comes up and it says your name and that thing that you branded with, there's this implicit specialist that comes with it where they think, oh, this person must know what they're talking about. It's also helpful to get involved so that you can network, so you can know other people that want to have work done in that domain or are specialists in that domain to help you keep on top of the industry or whatever you are supposed to be an expert on. You get in touch with sponsors, which they actually hire people. One of the reasons they sponsor is so that they can recruit. You can get in touch with the recruiters directly, even if they're not sponsors. So at our user groups, a lot of times we'll have recruiters come out and say, hey, I've got an open role for blah, blah, blah. Anyone looking for work? And you get in touch with different types of software vendors so that you can stay on top of what the latest tools are. Okay, so we talked about why you should speak. Now let's talk about how you should speak. So when you go to submit for a talk, you need to look at the tracks at the conference that you're going to. If I were to look at the latest cardiology conference and start submitting security talks, I'm probably not going to get accepted. So you need to make sure that what you're submitting aligns with what the conference is geared towards. You need to understand their selection process. What are they looking for? I think KCDC just put one out saying, if you put this in the wrong track, I can't help you, I'm not going to select it. You need to know the target audience. Again, the cardiologists probably do not care about the latest in AWS. You need to understand the clickbait cycle, so that's a little bit more advanced, but talk titles and talk descriptions go through these cycles where we go from I just want the name of the tool and the vendor so that I can learn about it, all the way to I want something like, I can't even think of a good clickbait, how not to lose your server or something. And then finally, you need to understand about the people that are doing that selection, reading your abstract. You need to understand exactly what they want to see while they're reading so that you understand what to put in there. If you want to go ahead and start submitting, one good place is Sessionize. I believe CodeMash does their submissions through Sessionize. Pretty much everyone at this point does their submissions through Sessionize. So it's a good place. I even put my user groups on Sessionize because it was free and it was easy. And if you click nearby when you're looking, you can just see them. You can look for partners. So if you're aligned with anyone who's running their own conferences, you can check their recruiting and social media feeds to see when they're putting out their call for speakers and join their, what we call, their expert programs like the Microsoft MVPs or the Google experts as you get involved with that community. Really get involved with your local user groups. I know that we all want to be remote, but in the case that everyone starts doing return to office, your local user groups are going to have the community that can get you that local job. And then finally, know about the corporate events. Know about when VMware is doing whatever that thing is they do in Vegas every year. If you want to be a part of that community, you need to know about it, you need to know when to submit, and you need to follow through. Oh, this one actually kept my my animations. Okay, so when you want to give a topic, and you want to deliver a session, and you want to put it together, first you're just going to have an intro and an outro. You're going to have something where you say, "Hi, I'm so and so. I'm going to talk about some stuff." You're then going to give a problem statement. You're going to say, "There's this issue that I want to talk to you about. It's a problem." Then you're going to give solutions to that problem. You're going to say, well, okay, so you don't want to get hacked. Here's some new great stuff to not get hacked. And then finally, you're going to either put those two together, where you're saying, this is how you use this tool to solve this problem, like I just told you about, or you're going to show demos of the tool that you just talked about. All right, finally, I want to talk about organizing within that community so that you can learn a few things. So what is community organizing in the technology industry? Well, it's a never-ending series of physical and religious herding of cats, also that people can come up to you after the event has started and say, do you need help with anything? So just so you understand, to put on something like CodeMash is even beyond what I'm used to dealing with, but I'm assuming it's thousands and thousands of hours amongst multiple people putting it together. So when it finally comes time on day of, the volunteers are helping. They don't need any help organizing now. They needed it 6 months ago. Doing that organizing, getting involved with organizers like the ones who put on CodeMash will teach you leadership skills because you're getting involved and you're actually putting something together and driving it forward. Again, if you want to get even deeper with those understanding of the sponsors and the industry itself, organizing will teach you exactly what the sponsors are here for and what they're looking for. And then finally, again, it's a whole lot of work. So we talked about in this lightning talk why you should speak, how you should go about speaking, and then why you should get involved with organizing. Thank you.